Greetings, viewers. Natai here with another review for all of you. So about a month or two ago, I decided to check out a Canadian show created by Kevin Gillis that ran from November 1985 to March 1991 called The Raccoons. Basically, the show is about the daily lives of a raccoon named Bert and the friends he has around him. The show is an enjoyable watch and has all the basic kid show morals, like having consideration for others and not to steal, but also that developing a romantic relationship takes time and shouldn't be rushed, and the feelings on both sides need to be mutual. This show could also get kind of dark, considering that there are a number of episodes involving characters being in life-threatening situations.
Hang on! Let's go!
I could probably do an entire video going over the series as a whole, like I did with my home movies review, and that would result in either another 15-minute long video, or one of those video essays that goes over an hour. But today I'm focusing on an episode from season 5 called Join the Club.
Hi, Bert!
Yep, it's one of those very special episodes that has an important lesson to teach its kid audience. In this case, it's about smoking. I haven't seen one of these episodes in a very long time, so let's see how the Raccoons handles it. Despite the preview focusing on the teenager Lisa, it opens with a local tycoon Cyril Sneer attempting to break a deal, while attempting to ditch his enemy Mr. Knox, due to the alligator being a few minutes late. Perhaps to get back at Cyril, Knox proposes that they discuss the deal at a country club he's a part of, and the combination of Cyril's usually jerky behavior and the club rules saying that Knox is only allowed one guest results in the cunning crocodilian stealing the client and Cyril vowing to become a member. Now with the plot you're probably more invested in. He says hanging out at a clubhouse made by Bert and Cedric Sneer, going through a box of old stuff they used to belong to Cyril, including an old door knocker which will be important later, when a golf ball busts through the window. Turns out the clubhouse isn't that far from Lock Links, the country club we were introduced to earlier. They aren't that great of neighbors either, since they consider the clubhouse Bert and Cedric built an eyesore, and have requested that it be torn down, which the boys refuse to do, since the clubhouse isn't even legally on their land. Cedric, however, suggests they try to make the clubhouse look as presentable as possible. Bert arrives at Lisa's house since she has the door knocker he'd like to put on their clubhouse, and...
This is Donna, a friend from my old school.
Hi, Donna. Lisa, when did you start smoking?
Bert, you've seen me smoking before. I've been smoking since,
I started months ago. Everybody I know smokes.
Yeah, that's about when I started, too. Bert, did you want something?
Yeah, I was looking for that door knocker.
Oh, yeah, I've got it right here.
Light?
You know, these things can kill you.
Okay, the direct approach may work in some cases, but not this one, since Donna clearly doesn't care. Lisa asks Bert not to tell anyone after her father calls upstairs, and while Bert doesn't approve, he wordlessly agrees.
Meanwhile,
Cyril learns from one of his pig assistants that Lock Links is holding a golfing tournament, and that the first prize is a 1-year membership. Unfortunately, the pigs don't consider their boss's golf game that great, and Cyril's opponent is Knox. Since the pigs don't think their boss can win on his own, the lead pig made a control that will remotely move the ball for him. When the pigs are distracted by a buffet and unintentionally cause the remote to short out, however, it looks like Cyril's going to be made a fool of in front of the entire club. In spite of the odds being against him, Cyril manages to pull off a turnaround victory. And now we come to one of the parts that made me want to review this particular episode.
This is so boring. How much more do we have to do?
We're almost done.
Oh, great. We're down to our last cigarettes, too. Please tell me there's a store somewhere in all these trees.
Of course there is.
Good. I'm going to head back. Could you pick up a new deck for me?
What?
You know, another pack of cigarettes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Here's the money. You know, when we get back to the city, you're going to really fit right in. See you later.
Uh-oh, here come the hallucinations.
What kind of cigarette did Donna give her? I know this is meant to convince Lisa to quit smoking, but I seriously doubt that regular old cigarettes would make you experience what can only be described as a drug trip. Also, even though I know this is all just inside Lisa's head, considering she's one of the few characters with a more humanoid physique and a teenager, this image just really screams stranger danger to me. In case you were wondering why Lisa had a satchel of newspapers, she convinced Bert to take over his route for the day, so she could afford money to buy train tickets to go on a trip with Donna. No one's at the clubhouse until Lisa's little brother Bentley shows up and...
Bentley Raccoon!
Lisa.
Take that thing out of your mouth right now, Buster!
Hey, I was only fooling around.
You don't fool around with cigarettes. Do you have any idea what they can do to your health? You can't breathe, they smell awful, they're expensive, and once you start smoking, it's almost impossible to stop. Bentley, cigarettes are not cool.
Okay, you could probably write this off as being the regular preachy message of a PSA, but I honestly feel that aside from the cigarettes aren't cool thing, this honestly works. It's direct and to the point. Even though Cyril won the tournament, there's still the issue of his initiation.
This must be it. A couple of quick swings and this place is kindling. Hey, not the old door knocker. This is Cedric's clubhouse, and they want me to knock it down? Not a chance! Something wrong, kid?
Oh, Mr. Sneer. I guess this looks weird to you, huh?
No, I've done this before, with cigars. You know, they don't break nearly as nicely, but they're just as hard to quit.
Oh, I've already quit.
Great, but why the tears? I'd be hilariously happy if I could quit.
But your friends wouldn't dump you if you did. I just lost a friend. She said I wouldn't fit in with her crowd.
Listen, kid, some crowds just are not worth belonging to.
The reason I let that all play out is because it really speaks a lot about Cyril, who is probably my favorite character in this series, mainly due to how he develops. From the Christmas special onward that introduced the world of the Raccoons, Cyril's always been the series' main antagonist. He's been a crooked lumberer, an alien despot, and for the first 3 or 4 seasons, a few of the episodes saw him trying to shut down the newspaper run by the Raccoons simply out of spite. In spite of all that and his money-hungry demeanor, Cyril generally loves his son above all else, and wouldn't want to do anything to hurt him. He's also developed sort of a soft spot for kids in season 4, since he has a few moments with Bentley where he's like a second uncle to the kid, donates blood to a kid he met in the hospital, and of course here, praising Lisa for avoiding an addiction, and telling her sometimes they're just people you don't need in your life, and that you should try to be an individual rather than follow the crowd. By season 5, he's gone from a crooked millionaire, willing to do anything to increase his own fortune, while not spending a single penny unless he has to a man willing to donate to a Better World Foundation without expecting anything in return. Well, that was the Raccoons episode on smoking. While I can't say the Raccoons is a perfect show, there's enough I like about it to recommend it to others. This was one of the first episodes I watched that really caught my attention because I really didn't expect them to do a smoking episode. I've seen just how bad you can do with one of these anti-smoking, anti-drug PSAs with animation, and I like to think the Raccoons avoided that. I also like to think that it did a pretty good job of dealing with toxic influences. Donna is clearly the type of person who will only keep you around so long as you do what she wants. And unlike Amphibia, there's no redemption for her. Although this series does get rebooted. Whatever network picks it up might push for that. This is Night at Ice saying thanks for letting me share my thoughts. Please share yours with me.